So we are having a session on Snap, so basically something on last minute tips. We'll start in a couple of minutes. Just a basic routine aspect. If you have any questions, any queries with regards to examination, you can put in the chat box. Hopefully I'll try to answer whatever query is possible. So yeah, so if you have anything, please feel free to put in the chat box. I'll try to answer whatever query possible. Speed-based test, 1 hour test. I mean, unlike a lot of other examinations, Snap is just a 1 hour test. So the tricks, techniques, etc. required to crack the Snap paper will be a little different or quite different from the CAT paper. Where in a CAT paper you have a lot of time to solve, whereas in the Snap paper you do not have enough time to solve. 1 hour you will not even realize how the time passes. I mean, you start solving a sum and you may just realize that 2 or 3 minutes have already passed, and that creates a problem. So that means you have to be very careful when you're trying to attempt the Snap paper, because 1 hour you don't know how to go about it, how to start, how to end. Okay, how to improve vocabulary performance? Okay, in the examination, too short notice to improve vocabulary as such. Anyway, what you need to do is go more like gut feel, specifically in English. I mean, my suggestion would be that to go more by gut feel. Either you know or you don't know. Look at the options. If you can eliminate a couple of options, mark one and move forward. If you have no idea of the answers, you can skip the answers because there is negative mark, remember that. But if you have some idea about what marks, what you can eliminate, just eliminate and move forward. That's how you need to go. But in the verbal section, the key is speed. Realizing that you know or you don't know, only two ways about it. You don't get the answer by thinking in the verbal section. You can't think for a long period. Oh, I remembered something and I want to answer the question. Doesn't work in verbal section. So that means in a speed-based test, when you're solving iron, you have to try to go about fast. I mean, try to solve whatever possible in the shortest point of time, and that will be what it is, right? GPI course is already out, so you can check out the portal prep.patrickandre.com, or you can call us up on our numbers. It's already started. We just started it. What percentile can we expect if your marks are? Look, understand, we don't know the marks that will happen in the actual examination because we don't know how difficult or easy the paper is. So it becomes very difficult to go about it. So yes, the last 2 years the cutoff has varied from 40 to 45. But if the paper is easy, the cutoff may go above 50. If the paper is tough, the cutoff may even drop to 35. We don't know. I normally tell people that when you go for the examination, go with a very open mind. Don't go with a very closed mind that this is the cutoff and this is the marks I have to score. Because the first 10th is the first attempt of Snap, so we don't know. The second and third attempt would be similar to the first attempt, that you can make out. But the first attempt of Snap, we don't know. Most likely it's going to be similar to last year. That's what they would want to do it, to keep a similar level of difficulty. But keep your fingers crossed. Just go with the exam with the open mind and do your best. Okay, just glance through the whole thing. I mean, we know the paper pattern. There will be 15 questions of English, 25 questions of logic, 20 questions of Quant. Okay, total 60 marks. That's how. Remember the negative marks which is there. So don't go for random wild guessing. I mean, that desperate measure to randomly guess some questions, don't do that. Okay, if you have fair idea, you can do intelligent guessing, go about doing it. There's no harm in doing that. But random guessing wastes time and doesn't help you to get more marks. Strategy, and normally recommend that when you go for the exam, please have a strategy in place. You must have already solved a lot of mocks. I normally recommend at least a 2-round strategy. Some people find it difficult, but 2-round strategy. Where in the first round you go through all the questions and solve only the easy ones. And as in when you solve the easy ones, any question that you come to moderate level, mark it separately in a paper, saying that these are a moderate question will come in round 2. And the rest of the questions can come in round 3. But understand, if you want to leave a question, ensure that you leave a question in 10 seconds or less. That's very important. Don't try to waste too much time, because the key out here is to reduce the time to leaving questions. Instead of 10 seconds, if you take 20 seconds, I'm just giving an example. If you take 10 seconds extra to leave a question for 60 questions, 600, so almost 10 minutes are gone. I mean, you will not even realize how 10 minutes are gone. So that means try to leave the questions in 10 minutes or less, any question that is difficult. Some question you may just see and make out, oh, it's difficult, I can't solve it, leave it. Some question you may have to read and decide, okay, this is difficult, I cannot solve it, I can read it. But try to figure out a way to leave it in 10 seconds or less. There will be obviously some question where you start solving it and you realize later on, oh, it was tough, and you left, that's okay. But whatever question you want to solve in 15 seconds or 1.5 minutes. And 15 seconds maybe for verbal questions, vocabulary, etc. Less than 15 seconds maybe. Just read, try to mark and move forward. That would be a good way. Don't try to solve questions for long period of time. 1.5. Any question that takes a long period of time not to be solved in the first round. So first round, go and solve only the easy questions. Mark the second round, question for second round. In a second round, come for a question that takes time to solve. Right? That's how it should be. And if you can do that proper strategy, that could help you to solve more questions. Also ensure that you go through all the questions. That's very important. All the questions, it is glance through the question, see the question, maybe not reading it. Seeing a question takes hardly 2 or 3 seconds. So ensure that you glance through every question. It should not happen that you have not seen some question in the exam, but they turn out to be very easy. And also when you're solving, always solve question that takes lesser time. I mean, even if the question that takes more time are there, leave that for second round. Don't solve, even if you feel that you will get definitely correct, don't solve in the first round. Always solve question that takes more time in the second round or third round, not in the first round. In the first round should be only question that takes time, lesser time, because you need to ensure that you don't miss out on the question that takes less time. Even if the accuracy is low, try to solve. For example, vocabulary, you're not sure of the answer, but at least attempt it. When you mark the answer, no, it depends on whether you know the work, but anything that takes less time, please ensure that you solve first. Very clear in a speed-based test. Always prefer questions that will take lesser time, and only then go to questions that you're more comfortable with and takes more time. For example, I may be good at logic, but I feel I take more time. I will not solve in the first round, I'll take in the second round. That's how it goes. Right? Psychology, when you're going for the exam, relax, but push yourself. I mean, you need to relax in the exam. Any aptitude-based test, the key is to relax. The more you relax, the better you'll be able to think and better you'll be able to solve. But since SNAP doesn't have time, only 1 hour, you can't, I mean, you need to push yourself in the examination. Try to solve as fast as possible. Don't give up till the end. A lot of people who give up saying that, oh, the paper was tough and I couldn't solve too many. But remember, if the paper is tough for you, the paper is tough for everyone. Same way, if the paper is easy for you, the paper is easy for everyone. So if you're finding a question paper easy, push yourself to solve as many questions as possible. If you're finding a paper tough, ensure that you pick up easy ones and solve. Remember, in the first attempt, no one knows the cutoff. Cutoff could vary anyway. Only in the second and third attempt you can predict, but first you cannot predict the cutoff. Okay. Okay, I'll take up a few questions right now. If any of you have questions, please feel free to ask and I'll try to take it up as far as possible. What percentile can we expect if marks around 35 to 40? Don't know. I mean, let me put it. I'm not right now. Don't get bothered about percentile or marks. So how much will I score? How much will I not score? Etc. It doesn't matter. It will only put you under more pressure and it will put down your performance. Right now, only focus on, oh, this is a strategy I should go for the examination and follow that strategy. You have a main strategy, have an alternate strategy. That is what you should do. Don't focus too much on your marks and percentile right now. By thinking about it, you're not going to score more marks. Focus on strategies as to go back to your old marks, check out what strategy you used, what has worked, what has not worked, and try to figure out the best strategy you can follow and alternate strategy. That's what is important as far as now it's concerned. I find hard to decide, Rohit, I find hard to decide whether to attempt arrangement questions or not in LR section. Should they be ideally solved if time left in the end? Rohit, yes. I mean, if the time is left in the end, if you're comfortable, you can attempt. At least in the first go, maybe you can decide on a length. If it's too lengthy a question, you can leave it. If it's short question, maybe you can solve it. It should not happen that it's a lengthy question, you spend a lot of time reading it and then you miss out on. So it depends on how long the questions I'll decide. As I said, I will always prefer question that takes lesser time for me to understand and solve. So if it's a short question, I can solve it fast, I'll do it. Lengthy question, I'll keep it for the end in the second round and third round, and then solve. Anything that takes too much of time, then leave it completely. Okay. I have been taking mocks for SNAP and every time I get the same score, which is 21.75, where there are 24 correct and 9 wrong. When I analyze the mock, it is always due to silly mistakes in LR and QA. Okay, so if you're finding that you're doing too many mistakes in LR and QA, then try to figure out why are you doing mistake. Write down the mistakes in a book so that you're aware of your mistakes and you don't repeat them in the actual exam. So always, whatever mocks have written, any mistakes that you do in a speed-based test, put it on a piece of paper, put it on a book, note it down, write down. So you're aware of those mistakes and you then avoid them in the exam. That's how you go about it. So you have time till tomorrow, put down the whole mistakes in the book and try to figure it out. What should be my strategy to improve my silly mistakes in mock? If I tell you to improve a silly mistake, you will tend to go slow, and SNAP is a speed-based test. As I said, the best way to avoid silly mistakes is to be aware about it. And the best way to be aware about it is to write down your silly mistake in a book. The moment you're aware about it, it'll be easier for you to avoid the mistakes. Okay, that's what can help. I don't actually go to rounds, just maintain my speed and I'm able to attempt around 50 questions. But fail to maintain a 90% accuracy. Should I reduce attempts? Dave, you'll have to experiment with the mock. Try in a mock to reduce the attempts and see how it works. Try it going fast and going about it. Try different strategies. Look, understand, you will know only what it works only if you try out different strategy. I would prefer a 2-round strategy, but if you feel 2-round strategy doesn't work for you, don't do it. But do it only after you've given a try. So take a mock. You shall have time, maybe tomorrow, or take a couple of mocks. One mock, try to solve 2-round strategy. One mock, try to solve it more accuracy. See what works for you. Remember, it's a 1-hour test, so you can keep on writing 2 or 3 mocks tomorrow just to finalize the strategy. There's no harm in doing that. So in Quant, some questions looks very easy, but when solving becomes lengthy, what to do? Leave it. Any question that you feel, the moment you start solving and you feel it's lengthy, leave it. There's no point wasting 3 or 4 minutes on a question, and even if you get right, doesn't make sense. The moment you find a question lengthy, immediately leave it. That's how a snap paper is. Don't try to focus too much on solving lengthier questions. Doesn't help. Every question has the same marks. It makes sense to solve easy. For example, if I'm solving vocabulary question, if I can solve 5 questions in 1 minute, even if I get 3 right, I'll get more marks than solving Quant question 100% accuracy but taking 2 minutes per question. It doesn't make sense. This will be preferred over this. Okay, if I repeat vocabulary, if I say 5 questions I solve, I get 3 correct and 2 wrong. So I get 3 marks, but I lose out 0.5 marks. So I'll get 2.5 net marks in a minute. But Quant, even if I get 100% accuracy and I'm taking 2 minutes, I'll get only 1 mark in 2 minutes. Which is better? This is better. Because here I'm getting more marks per minute, and that is what is important. Even if I get 2 questions correct and 3 wrong, still this is better, because 2 marks minus 0.75 will still give you 1.25 marks per minute. That's how it helps. So focus on trying to get more marks per minute. Therefore, focus on trying to solve those questions which take lesser time and leave out those questions which takes more time. Doesn't make sense to solve questions with more time. Okay, so when will SPJMR profile based call be released? End of December, most likely. I hope none is getting more than that one. I'm not sure. A couple of people with the same marks, but I'm not getting into it right now. Let's take a look at it. Okay. Yeah. So yes, this is what I would put out map. Now, when you're going for the exam, you need to balance between being relaxed and pushing yourself. Be relaxed before the exam. Don't think of marks. Don't think of percentile. That will only stress you off. Try to be more relaxed and try to push yourself in the exam to solve more questions. That's all you have to do. But when you're pushing yourself to more questions, don't think of marks and percentile. Focus on strategy. Stick to your strategy and try to solve as much as possible. That is what will help you. Right? Short session just to tell you all the best for the exam. Do well and ensure. Remember that there is one more attempt for SNAP and one more attempt for SNAP and your other exams as well. So this is not a do or die case as such. As long as you are focused and you are ready to do well, I'm sure you'll do well in the examination. So all the best and do well.